Hi, this is Ted. I was thinking today, actually, I was reading a little bit about Kenneth Copeland, and it reminded me of the differences that he holds between reality and his teachings. For example, he teaches all about faith healing, and with faith that you can never be sick. And yet his church, his daughter's church, in 2013 had a measles epidemic that pretty much was a concern to the entire nation. It seemed to me, what's with this? They should be the beacon, the light of the world for health. But they're the beacon for disease. Why? There just seems to be such a huge disconnect here. And I noticed that also about his claiming things. And I thought, when I was a young Christian, I saw reality. I was able to handle reality and try to associate it with faith and work it out and everything. But he doesn't seem to be able to. So he claims COVID-19 is gone a year ago. And it never left. And this is just two things of many that he faces over and over, and I'm thinking he lives in another world. So today I do want to talk about the Matrix. The Matrix, and I'm going to read to you a little short paragraph actually from Wikipedia. In the Matrix, the main character, Neo, is offered the choice between a red pill and a blue pill by the leader, Morpheus. The red pill represents an uncertain future. It would free him from the enslaving control of the machine-generated dream world and allow him to escape into the real world. But living in the truth of reality is harsher and more difficult. And I thought that's a great illustration of what I see with not just Kenneth Copeland, but so many who live in the world of faith healing and live in the world of signs and wonders. And before I move on, I got to explain, I have to clarify, and I constantly have to do this because some of you are first-time viewers and you think, what, another person who doesn't believe in miracles? That's not the issue at all. I do believe in miracles. I believe God works. But what you're seeing in the signs and wonders movement and what you're seeing in faith healing movement, it's not the same as what Jesus practiced. Let me go on. The blue pill. Taking the blue pill, you will hear stories and testimonies of people. I did a study of Catherine Kuhlman and Benny Hinn and several others looking at and studying and picking apart what people are saying and what's going on the stages. And I see what's going on in those stages can be reproduced in churches, can be reproduced all over. And with the blue pill, the testimonies you hear are amazing. People getting healed in front of the congregation, people telling them all about their stories. But if you take the red pill, you realize many of those people are claiming healing that never comes, especially if you're dealing with the Word of Faith movement. Because they teach that you should be claiming, you have to claim in order to get the healing. So if I have COVID-19, I'm going to say I do not have it. I'm healed from it in order to get it. But in reality, that is not what is going to get me out. Taking the red pill, you realize that people on stage and people giving testimonies oftentimes are exaggerating. Even Catherine Kuhlman admitted they exaggerate their illnesses. What she didn't tell you is that she helped recreate some of those stories, many of those stories, to make them look bigger and better. Not only exaggerating their illnesses, but exaggerating the healing process, what happened. The red pill also reveals that when you look and when you read about their follow-up testimonies, you'll find out that many of those people, when talking to doctors, their doctors, the ones who've been on stage, many of those people, they're already in the process of being cured, being healed in the medical realm. And they get on stage and make it like this big night and day that just happened to me. The red pill also reveals that a lot of these people are going through remission. For example, Jeremy Camp, and I don't blame him for doing this. I'm not getting on his case at all about this. But he had a wife that had cancer. And it was a bad cancer. But all of a sudden, after a lot of prayer, her cancer just left. Doctors verified it was gone. And he told people, as he sang and as he had a cancer, he told people she was cured, that God had healed her. But within the year, the cancer returned and she died. It was natural remission. Now, once again, I'm not blaming him for doing that. I may have done the same thing. I would have been praising God and thanking him. But here's the issue. The people who heard him testify now, just with that testimony, even with that, if they didn't know Jeremy Camp, they didn't follow up, they would never have found out that her cancer returned and that she died. If you take the blue pill, you will see people getting out of their wheelchairs, healed. You'll see people who are deaf and blind, legally healed, hearing better, seeing better. You will see people cured of arthritis and back pain and all types of cancers. But if you take the red pill, you will realize that those people in wheelchairs could walk already, but they were just bound by pain. And when pain disappeared, which it will in a lot of these situations, when pain disappears temporarily, people will get out of their wheelchairs and believe with all their hearts they have been healed. Taking the red pill, you will realize that nobody who is 100% deaf, 100% blind, will ever be on those stages claiming healing. Taking the red pill, you will realize that many of these people, for most of them in fact, their symptoms will return. Not in months, not even weeks, but oftentimes and usually within hours. Taking the blue pill, you will believe that every one of these healings will last. Taking the blue pill, you will believe the ones that don't last are because of those few people who just don't have enough faith. But taking the red pill, you will do some follow-up and you will find out that the pain came back. You will find out that people went back to their wheelchairs. Even Benny Hinn admits that some, he says some, will return to their wheelchairs after being on stage, walking, running. Taking the red pill, you will learn that about 3% of the people, out of all those people on stage, maybe 3% will have lasting cures. And you will find out that those 3% had only functional diseases. And at this point, I'm not going to get into the functional disease versus structural disease, but there is a difference. I just want to say that structural disease is something that I have yet to see on any stage in any of the hundreds of testimonies and experiences I've seen on YouTube. I've yet to see a structural disease get healed. Taking the blue pill, you will believe that these healing experiences you see on stage and that you hear about, people testifying about, you will believe that they are equal to what took place in the Bible. But taking the red pill, you will see that they are night and day different. When Jesus healed, he could heal entire crowds to the last person. Most of his crowd healings taking place was with everybody, with every type of disease. The blue pill thinks that this is likewise what they are doing, but the red pill reveals obviously this is not happening. The blue pill says God's generals had been able to raise the dead and do amazing miracles. The red pill tells us that the God's generals from years past, took the blue pills. And this is Ted. You have a good one.